right, it is go time here, and I think everything is working properly. We'll see what is happening here in just a little bit. But unfortunately, you may see that if you tune in and are a normal viewer to this, and thanks to everybody for watching on Twitch and YouTube. We are live on YouTube tonight. We again usually have a computer monitor sitting right behind me. Well, that monitor gave up the ghost. So for right now, there is no other monitor out there at this time. So we do not have any possibility of using that. So we're going to do something slightly different for tonight. We're on YouTube right now. We're going to be on Twitch in just a little bit because we're going to have to switch over. Usually, as we see back over here, I'm going to turn this over. This is the computer, and this is the webcam right next to it that I do Twitch on concurrently with YouTube. Well, unfortunately tonight, because the monitor that we have is pretty much toast at this point, I can't even rotate around and show you because I don't have the clearance here with this monitor. So what we're going to do is a shorter weather overtime tonight on YouTube. Again, if you're tuning in around the News 12 viewing area, looking around downtown and the area tonight, not much going on, but could be, again, a problem into tomorrow. Welcome to everybody who's tuning in on that. So getting started, this is the way we're going to have to do things. I'm down here in the lower right-hand corner. Again, looking out over the downtown area for tonight. This is the way we're going to have to do things. Unfortunately, I can't do YouTube and Twitch at the same time, so I am going to do YouTube first. It's 9:47 p.m. Eastern Time, so this is what it's going to look like for tonight. The dimensions are a little bit more cramped, but you'll at least be able to see things on there and give you an idea as to what is going on for right now. So if you'd like to tune in on YouTube, again, please do so. Let me see that. You can certainly get the right microphones here for everything. We do have, again, some big weather news coming up with the system on its way. There's really little, if anything, happening right now, but there is the possibility that tomorrow morning, about another, say, 9-10 hours out, we could be seeing a potential problem with the development of winter weather. Right now, downtown on the EPB fiber optics weather cam network, looking very much on the quiet side. Roads at this time, not a problem. Looking again at 153 and 64, showing traffic moving along pretty well out this direction, and we'll continue to see that through the evening hours. It's tomorrow morning that's going to be a bit of a problem. Downtown, looking at I-24, moving through the area here of downtown, both directions, everything moving. You can still see the lights of Signal Mountain off in the distance, so we are seeing some good traveling conditions there. Let's take a look at 24 and 75 junction. Pretty light for this time of the night. This is an area just south, the Chattanooga Airport, just over the horizon. That is where we see, again, some fairly chilly temperatures out there. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and hop into the main weather story for the day. Again, this is a winter storm warning. This is issued when a winter weather scenario is unfolding, when the weather is imminent for a particular area. And as of right now, it's not just for the News 12 viewing area. Notice that it's in effect for all counties out there, including Hamilton County and Chattanooga proper. It also goes, again, all the way over to Marion County, Cherokee, North Carolina, Northwest Georgia, and Northeastern Alabama. So what does this mean for the next 24 hours? Just, again, take a look at what the entire area is looking at here as we go, and hopefully my animation is not messed up. This is the way it looks, again, all the way across the country as we see the potential, again, for winter weather. This is a big storm. This is a very powerful system in and of itself, and as of right now, we have winter storm warnings from New Mexico to Virginia, even over to Delaware. So this is a very widespread system, and this is going to be causing a lot of problems. Now, as of right now, switch over to analysis mode real quick. There is some moisture out there across portions of northern Alabama, so the moisture is on the way, but that moisture is dropping into very dry air at the surface. So even though it's not that far, it is going to be needing the lower levels of the atmosphere to fill in that moisture gap, because if it's dry down here, the very light moisture falling down into that is just going to be shredded by that dry air. So maybe a raindrop or two or some snowflakes around I-22 in western Alabama, but beyond that, we just don't have a lot going on immediately just yet. And again, that could be changing into the course of the rest of the evening. So we'll see how well that forms out there. For right now, again, we are watching for a number of different types of precipitation. This system, again, making its way in from the west-southwest. This is going to be giving us, again, the potential for problems out there, starting over portions of West Texas and then making its way up and to the north and to the east. It's going to be moving into the News 12 viewing area. It looks like, again, for right now, everything is going to be heading our direction as we get into about 6 o'clock on Friday morning. So that is where we may see the potential for some more problems taking place. Then this system, again, overspreads the area with a combination of winter weather events. The cold air is already at the surface. So for right now, I think what we're going to be seeing for the most part in portions of the News 12 viewing area north of the Tennessee line is going to be mainly snow showers taking place here. And again, a lot of the heavier snow looks like it's going to be from west of us all the way back into and around parts of the Arklatex area, the Red River Valley, maybe a foot of snow in some locations there. It's going to be less for us. This computer model is a little bit more liberal, so it shows a little bit more in the way of precipitation. Now, if we go to a more conservative model, and there are variations of these models all the way across the spectrum, that's what we use to forecast anything in the way of hurricanes, which path they may be going. This particular model on this map is a little bit more conservative, so we're going to stick with this. Again, I don't see us getting a foot of snow, a great big wallop of it, but what I do see is, again, starting off with some light amounts right about dawn patrol tomorrow morning, and this is showing a little bit of a different scenario, that we could be picking up more of that snow earlier overnight right across that area into northern parts of Alabama and back into northern Georgia. Now, going forward from the early morning as that snow spreads over the area, you can see that by lunchtime we start to pick up some pretty decent amounts right across the Tennessee state line, and then everything is pretty much over with for the most part as we go into the early parts of the weekend, and it's going to be very cold, so a lot of that moisture excuse me, is going to be sticking to the ground and sticking around for quite some time into this next week, and we'll time that out for you coming up in just a little bit. What this means, again, for right now, whoever's tuning in, I think that mostly, I disagree with some of these numbers. The higher elevations may see half a foot of snow, depending on what goes on. Lower elevations will probably pick up a little less. Overall, on average, I think we're looking at somewhere between about 2 to 5 inches of snow varied across the area. That's not hedging, that's not trying to walk anything back. That right there is looking at the potential. If you've studied snow and winter weather at all, you get an idea as to what goes on. And just because this map says 4 to 8 inches in Chattanooga does not mean that if you live in St. Elmo off of the shadow of Lookout Mountain, you could pick up more, or living in Red Bank, North Shore, Soddy Daisy, you may pick up less. That's the way it works. These numbers fluctuate. These, what you see on here, are basically just a suggestion overall, and that is mainly what we're looking at for right now. So this, again, is just the overall idea about what a conservative weather model is saying about what we could get. And notice, again, back toward around, say, Scottsboro, there is a potential that we could see in the higher elevations even more snow. into tomorrow. And this is going to lend itself to some very ugly travel conditions out there. Now, we also see, starting tomorrow morning, the possibility going to about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning for portions of northeastern Alabama, northwest Georgia, sleet, ice pellets. That is where we could be seeing more of that. And that doesn't sound, 2/100 of an inch doesn't sound too bad until you take all of that and you drive over it with vehicles several dozen, several hundred times, and you mash all that ice pellets down into one thick ice layer. And that's not all. We'll be seeing more of that overspreading again, mainly the areas back to the south of the Tennessee line. So North Georgia, Northeast Alabama stands the greatest chance of getting anything out of this when it comes to ice pellets, because again, the frozen layer right above the ground should take the liquid precipitation melting higher up, freeze it into pin drop shapes in that area, pinhead shapes, and that's where we again get the potential for this sleet coming down the best south of Chattanooga and the Tennessee line. Now, that is sleet pellets. How about we take a look at freezing rain? And this is where we really start to wind up with problems. Again, not much showing up as we go into Friday morning, but as we go toward lunchtime, right about noon, that's when that freezing line starts to fluctuate, and we may see some warmer air coming our way to melt everything out there a few thousand feet up, and then it falls down to the surface, which is already cold, and then sticks around through the afternoon and into rush hour. Now, again, some of that could be a problem for the area into and around southern Tennessee, western North Carolina. This could be mixed in with some of that snow taking place. But the worst of it is going to be northeast Alabama and northern parts of Georgia. So as we go into and around early Saturday morning, most everything is basically over with. But here's two things I think really to watch out for. Well, three things technically. Anything along and south of the lower tier of counties in Tennessee, you want to watch out for what's going on, including Chattanooga. We could be looking at very slick conditions into Friday night, Saturday morning. Then we get into the area around northeast Alabama. Could be again around, say, 1/10 of an inch of freezing rain, not just sleet, not just snow, but freezing rain. And some of these areas, again, could pick up about 2 to 5 inches of snow, depending on location. So DeKalb, Jackson counties, Alabama, I would watch that very carefully. Either side of the Tennessee River, dropping down across northeastern parts of Alabama. Then we look down to the south and to the east. Anything south of Chattanooga, I-75 down toward Atlanta. National Weather Service in Atlanta, in Peachtree City, is showing that there is a possibility of this system overperforming. That is, the models are calling for a certain amount. National Weather Service is upping that amount to nearly 1/4 of an inch to nearly 1/3 of an inch, possibly closer again to the I-20 corridor. So between Birmingham and Atlanta, travel could be next to impossible Friday night into Saturday morning and through the weekend until the roads improve by either treatment or the weather improves. Portions of that area, as we've all seen in the last decade or so, Atlanta as an area does not do well with winter weather. That is a very big problem down that direction. So that is something really to keep an eye on for right now, as we see again the potential for this situation really becoming a bit of a problem out there. So this is something to watch out for, and again, all this could change as we go into the forecast for the course of the next few days. One more check of your 7-day forecast. Well, let's go ahead and give you the weather picture of the day here, since unfortunately I didn't have a chance to get all the graphics taken care of with the rush, and we had an internet outage which really didn't help everything. Thanks to Wayne Carpenter from Decatur for our weather picture of the day. Not assuming it was around Decatur, sunrise or sunset, beautiful picture there. Winter storm warning in effect for Friday, and that mixture again starting off as snow, snow, sleet, freezing rain mix over to snow as we head into Saturday morning. And again, that is where we see everything taper off. But take a look at Sunday morning's temperature. That is where we could really see a problem with temperatures in the teens. Whatever melts on Saturday could do a very good job of making its way frozen again. We could look at some black ice conditions on Sunday morning. So church and Sunday school could be a bit of an issue there. So again, a lot can change in the next couple of days and staying chilly all the way into next week. That's going to take care of our foreshortened weather overtime, so we can switch from YouTube to Twitch as we have no monitor to use for demonstration purposes for tonight. And Mr. Andrew Harrison is going to be doing his update here coming up in just a little bit. So going to head to switch over here in just a little bit. Changeable situation, will be dangerous travel out there, so keep it tuned to News 12 for more. Keep it tuned to our website, wdef.com/weather, and stay tuned for much more with Chip Chapman coming up on Friday morning's morning show, 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And again, that's right about when the winter weather is going to start. So let's be weather aware. Let's be careful out there. And again, please be flexible with your travel plans, and let's all stay safe. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onick for Weather Overtime Pre-Winter Storm Edition. Stay tuned for more with News 12 into Friday and throughout